It's 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Darryl Huckaby along with Dee Dee in the morning, always keeping you connected to what's happening in the community. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's been headlining a lot these days. It's Social Security. Joining us to discuss some of the details in an event coming up in August is Nora Duncan. She is the state director at AARP. Good morning, Nora. How are you?
Good morning, Darryl. I'm great. I hope you are well and your listeners too.
Fantastic. Now, Social Security celebrating 90 years in August next month. Wow, that long.
That long, 90 years, never missed a paycheck. That's the thing we like to say about Social Security. 90 years of reliability.
And we want to keep it that way.
We sure do.
Now, for Connecticut, how many people get the benefits of Social Security?
We are closing in on about 722,000 people who get Social Security. Yep. And, I think most people think about it as retirees. That's not the full picture. So about 565,000 of those people are retirees, but we also have disabled workers, some survivor benefits, and then there's even children who are on it because of a parent who may have passed.
And the age that people typically start receiving Social Security, if it's not under disability or some other unforeseen circumstances?
You can start as early as 62. 67 is full retirement benefit, but if you hold off up to age 70, you can get more in each paycheck. Okay. So it just depends on your circumstances, how you want to do it, what you want to do. Whether you have to start collecting for some financial reason or whether you're still working and you can hold off and, make that each check bigger as you collect it.
And let me add in, because I forgot to say in the beginning, you're having a celebration of 90 years for Social Security Tuesday, August 12th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Bigelow Senior Center in Fairfield. And for anybody that wants to join in that celebration, you can RSVP at 877-926-8300. Now, Nora, Social Security has been in the headlines a lot lately with the current administration talking about defunding and trying to eliminate it. Can you give us some facts, the myths versus the truths of, what's happening, and hopefully, we can keep it ongoing for those that, really paid into it. It's really, they're not giving us anything that we're not deserving of because we pay into this and we expect to get it back at some future date. So.
Yes, that is actually our slogan. We earned it. So yeah, we earned it. I think I made my first payment into Social Security when I was 15 years old. So in every paycheck since, it's been going in there. So we pay in. The truth of the matter now is that Social Security is never going to go broke because we pay in, right? So as long as people are working and there's payroll taxes going in, it's never going to go broke. That said, we do have a bit of a fiscal crisis on the horizon. Mm-hmm. Congress needs to take bipartisan action. I know Congress likes to wait until the last minute, and we don't want them to. That's why we're having these conversations and using 90 years as a big focal point. Right. But if Congress does not act, right now the projection is that current and future Social Security paychecks will be cut by just shy of maybe 20% if Congress does not take action. So I am sure everyone listening can think of someone relying on Social Security, whether it's themselves, their grandmother, their mom, their dad, uncle, cousin, whoever, right? Can they afford a 20% pay cut? Because I don't want a 20% pay cut. Even if you have tons of money invested, this is still your money. You put it in, you made a plan to retire. It included a full paycheck, not a 20% cut. Right. But there's also a lot of people relying just on Social Security in retirement who are being kept out of poverty because of Social Security. We don't want to see that happen, right? We don't want to see people fall into poverty because of a cut. And we want what we paid in. You work hard, you pay in, and your Social Security needs to be there for you when you need it.
And a lot of people rely on Social Security. They make it part of their retirement plan. So, imagine, you get to that retirement age and it's part of your plan, whether it's, that's your sole source of income or you put other buffers around it in other sources of income. Now a lot of people are being disrupted in retirement age.
Yep. That's exactly what's going to happen if Congress doesn't take bipartisan action, and it's going to have to be bipartisan. It's the only way we're going to get to the goal of keeping Social Security strong for another 90 years. And I'm going to say something else. $16.4 billion a year comes into Connecticut through Social Security.
Wow.
Think about the coffee shop. Think about the grocery store. Think about the dry cleaner, right? Think about all those stores that people will have to cut discretionary spending. Think about people who would not be able to afford their prescription medication because of this, right? So $16.4 billion, that's a lot of money coming into our economy. That's a economic driver, and that, spread that across the country.
And that's a good point to make. It's not just affecting the individuals receiving the benefits, but the collateral damage, as it trickles down.
Tremendous collateral damage.
AARP as an organization, you guys are lobbying to, help Congress do the right thing.
Yeah, we are working across the country, encouraging members of Congress to do the right thing. They need to start this conversation earlier than later. It's not fun to put off the tough conversations till the last minute, but so that's what we're trying to make sure it doesn't happen. We want this conversation to happen early. In the next election cycle, we'll be having this conversation with every viable candidate for Congress. That's our goal across the country. We accomplished it last year. Every viable candidate, ended up having a conversation with AARP, a volunteer, a staff member, we held a telephone town hall for the public, for our members, with the 5th congressional candidates, asking them both about this question last year. Same kind of thing's going to happen next year. And, eventually we'll get to that point where nobody wants to go home to their constituencies with a 20% pay cut for them all, right?
Right. Yeah. And again, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Nora Duncan. She is the state director for AARP, trying to keep Social Security alive.
That's right.
Nora, thank you for joining us and enlightening us with those golden nuggets. And again, a 90th year celebration for Social Security taking place next month, Tuesday, August 12th, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Bigelow Senior Center in Fairfield. You must RSVP to attend. So 887-926-8300 is the number to call to RSVP. And Nora, we're going to stay in contact so you can keep us up to date as to how things progress.
Great. I will be happy to do that. And I would just encourage anybody, aarp.org/we earned it. Sign our pledge to keep Social Security strong. Those signatures help us with our members of Congress across the country.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for doing what you do as an organization. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Darryl.
All right. I'm Darryl Huckaby, always keeping you connected to what's happening in our community with Didi in the Morning on 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city.